Today I'd like to speak to you about left hand technique. That is something that sometimes we all struggle with. And so we want to talk about the proper way to position your left hand fingers. And a common way of describing it is I like to call it a 4-fret stretch, so that your fingers are always open to cover 4 frets. Because when we deal with guitar and the reading of music, even the sight reading of it, we are talking about positions. And those positions will generally cover the 4 frets. So we want to always maintain that opening of our fingers. Oftentimes we run into 2 difficulties. We tend to keep the thumb a little bit high, and so what that does is that kind of scrunches up our fingers and lessens the degree of stretch that we can give to those. So we want to keep that thumb lower, and we want to keep the fingers well on the fingertips. Now, one manner that I like to explain this is if you were to make a fist, which is going to be a very natural element to our hand. If you go to make a fist, your thumb will fall directly behind the second finger. We want to think about that because when we position our hand on the neck, we want to make certain that that is a very natural strength, so that that thumb stays right behind the second finger. If the thumb is too high, you see the angle that it changed, fingers 1, 2, and 3. As soon as you lower that thumb, half the battle is accomplished. And the other thing that we need to think about is you want to keep, again, the weight, or the pressure, on top of the fingers, and not that it falls back to finger 1, but that the weight falls over finger 4. So that when you're playing, if you play an open string, O to 1, 2, 3 to 4, and you release, you don't scrunch up. They're not where you're 1 and then have to go to 2, and the stretch gets a little bit harder to 3 and buzzier, and then it gets a little harder to do, and we're squeezing with the thumb, and we're just getting all sorts of noises. Let's just drop the hand, and a lot of teachers recommend this. Drop your hand, palm up, and let it just drop anywhere. So it's a very natural way of finding. And once you get those fingers positioned, then just glide your hand back, the entire arm. Don't do it so that when you go back, you're also changing the angles because something happened to your thumb in the back as well. So you want to drop your arm, palm up, bring your fingers to any place on the first string. Slowly bring it back fret by fret without anything changing. So that now, when you play that exercise again, 1, 2, 3, 4, your fingers now are directly over the given fret. Now, the next problem is, if we were to take this exercise and move it to the second string, what do our fingers do? And then we find that we have quite a distance to go to play that next note. Well, that means we're going to suffer with our speed. If we go back to O, and we want to go to the next string, don't think that I have to lift my fingers away, because that's exactly what you do. You lift them so far away from the fingerboard, you'll suffer with your speed. If you think I have to lift, that's what it starts to look like. Let's go back to the first string, same exercise, and there's a word that you need to put into your brain which is going to give you very different results. Now, before you go on to the next string, all you want to do is release. Very different results. Don't lift, but release. You see the results? Very different. Don't lift, everything that you're doing. So that short little concept is going to take you through from the easiest piece to the most challenging piece. No matter what position you play, keep them close to well on the tips, close to the fingerboard. And the manner you're doing that is you're going to release, not lift. And then all of a sudden, they're functioning perfectly for you. Make this your one-point learning process. Stay focused for the full duration of 10 minutes. Enjoy the process and sit back and enjoy the results as well. And you will definitely see the results taking shape in all your repertoire that you're doing. Have fun, and I hope you enjoy your new results with your left hand technique.